was born in 1930 and grew up the youngest child in her family. She experienced the Harlem Renaissance and was the daughter of a sanitation worker and a seamstress. It was from her mother that she learned how to sew and was inspired to make story quilts. Today we are going to channel this mode of storytelling by creating a weaving project inspired by Faith Ringgold's story quilts. For the first project, we will need cardboard, scissors, yarn or string, and any household items like ribbon, plants, flowers, leaves, scrap fabric, gold necklaces, or anything else that can be woven into a cardboard. First, you will need a piece of cardboard that you will cut slits into, about 2 inches high. Cut them evenly in fingers width apart. Once you finish on one side, turn it around and do the same to the opposite side, making sure to have the same at the top and the bottom. The next step is to take some yarn, put it in the back. We're going to create our warp, and you're going to leave a little bit of tail in the back. And what you're going to do is just go down, evenly go around the back. It'll be slightly angled on the back, but the front side that we create the warp on will be perpendicular. Once we get to the last slot that we've made, flip it in the back, give yourself a little bit of length, tie together, cut your excess yarn or string, and just put it together in a little knot. If you want it to be extra tight and snug, you can kind of go underneath in this over-under motion, which we're going to do when we weave. For the weaving, you can continue to use the same string or yarn that you use to create the warp, or you can change it up and use a bunch of different colors, different textures, different sizes. What I'm going to do is just cut a little bit of a different color so you can see the difference. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this over-under method for weaving. I'm going to go under this first string, over the second, under the third, over the fourth. If you want, you can use a little bit of the excess cardboard and just cut a little square of the size of your hand. And this is called a shuttle. And you can start to kind of get it nice and even and flat. And then what I'll do with the rest of my yarn is go back over now. I went under the first, so you always want to go opposite so that you have some traction. And I'm going to loop it around and go back the opposite way. And I just do this back and forth in this repetitive motion until I fill the entire sheet. You can make your cardboard loom any size you want. I've gone ahead and made some really small ones to give you a variation of size. I've also gone in and used marker to just kind of create a little design on the background, which is kind of cool because if you weave over that, you get this fun little sort of funky feel to it. But if you forget or you don't have anything to design, markers or anything, that's okay. You can always do that at the end and we can kind of fill it in together. And it's really kind of just a fun, relaxing, meditative vibe. You can create very cool artworks. You can have a string where you hang it in the back when you're done. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you one that's already partially finished, just to give you a sense of how it's evolving. I used this string here. You can see how it's sort of building up. I was alternating between different colors. I have a little end there. I could either tie them together or just tuck it in underneath and just sort of continue that over-under repetition. The next thing is you would cut the back of the warp and just cut 2 strings at a time and gently pull them out so everything that's been woven onto it doesn't fall off. And you're going to just tie a knot to secure the weaving so it doesn't unravel. And then if you want, you can pull the yarn or the string or the fringe over it, kind of conceal it a little bit. I'll do the same with the next 2. It. So that's a little ode to Faith Ringgold.